Welcome. Good to see you. It's been a short month. It's good to be back. Welcome back to the Race Communique. Luke Durbridge, Tom Southam. Great to have you here, boys.
Good to be here.
G'day, mate. Not too long since Durbo and I caught up, actually, in Hamburg a couple of days ago. We had a good catch-up mid-race.
Oh, we did. We did, actually, yeah.
Oh, were you in the silent car again?
I was in the silent car, and first time in my career, so Hamburg goes off and it does these little loops. First time in my career I've ever had a flat tire in the team car. And like, not just a little flat tire, but like an 1.5 inch slice. There's no way you're fixing that. And so I don't know, like these days, there's no spare wheels in cars. So I've pulled up basically with 90 Ks to go in the race, right? Totally flat tire. Pull up the car on the side of the road and just thinking about what to do, and then up pops Durbo rolling down the road.
With the car jack.
I shouldn't have been there anyway, but I sort of rolled up and like, it was a strange point for a bottle point. I just rolled in and I saw Tom on the side of the road just leaning against the car like this cool dude with all these bikes, and I was like, "What are you doing?" And he goes, "Got a puncture." I was like, "What are you doing, Mark?" "Oh, I'm just creeping." So we just sat there, we had a chat, and then I was like, "So are you saying that the boys are doing the lap and they've got no follow car?" And he's like, "Yep. I hope to God no one punctures because we have no one in the back."
we had nothing. So I let the race go back past, and then I like set off on three wheels, like following the last the ambulance, like ding, ding, ding. And then I saw Durbo at the side of the road, like pointing, going, "They're that way. They're that way."
I was doing that.
I had to drive to the bus and sit like with the car parked, like talking on the radio. It's like where the riders could hear me because sometimes they were close. But okay, pull now, boys, pull now. If you can hear me, pull now. We need to pull. And then I kept having these German people like tack, tack, tack on the windows. Like, "Do you know you have a flat tire?" I was like, "Oh, thank you." So eventful day for us. But it was nice to catch up, Durbs. It was good to see you there, mate.
It was.
Wait,
yeah.
how far to go were you out of the race, Turbo? What were you even doing there?
You don't have to tell everyone. I think I did 120K, so.
Wait, I prefer how far to go.
Yeah, exactly. That was well disguised. Yeah, I did 120K. It's 210K race, mate. Come on.
It's not. It's 180.
70 clicks to go. The race haven't even kicked off yet. How'd you even get dropped yet?
Was it 200? No.
But you had a flat tire as well. I got you back into the race. You remember? And
yeah, so I had another flat tire. So I had a flat tire, changed the tire. My mechanic gave me a flat tire.
Oh, no, don't believe that.
I got dropped. I got back on. There's no problem. But I railed the next corner and nearly washed out on my back wheel because my wheel was flat. I was like, "What the hell?" And he's like, "Oh, sorry." Because, with the tubeless, they go down so slow.
Yeah, right.
He'd actually taken it out, put it on top again, and then actually came out and gave it to me again. It was Yasha Sutherland's wheel, and I literally came around the corner. I was like, whoa. And then I had to change again. Anyway.
You looked super happy about it when I saw you. You looked like you were discussing very politely with the mechanic.
I was like, what the hell? Anyway, if I'd gone any quicker, I would have been on my ass. I would have been pretty unhappy. So, yeah, a bit of an eventful day in Hamburg. I mean, I tell you.
Well, boys, we haven't even introduced the show. Of course, this is the Race Communique. The boys, last time we spoke, we're fresh off the tour. Now the boys have had a little bit of time off. We're speaking, of course, with Tom Southern, the sports director at EF Easy Post, and Luke Durbridge from Jayco Alula. This is when we get together and discuss what is going on in the racing. This is Live from the Peloton presented by MAP. But of course, this series is exclusively brought to you by our major partner this year, which is Training Peaks. And it's been really fun exploring what Training Peaks is. Aside from what we know it, we've been exploring their online system throughout this year. And one thing that I've been recently sort of finding out about Training Peaks is it's a bit more in tune to what I am now. They've got the Training Peaks coach match. Now, this is expert coaching no matter your starting point. Training Peaks use a team of experts to match your training goals with a coach, a real coach that is best suited to help achieve your goals. So what they do is they've got real people. It's not fake people. They're real. They're live, breathing. And what they do is they get you to fill out a questionnaire. They get you to sort of
I hate fake people. Just get on my nerves, those fake people.
Especially coach. Well, they get you to fill out this questionnaire. You put in your goals, you put in your fitness level, you sort of put in your where you live, all the details you need. What they do is they get their experts to sort of then read through that and match you with one of their coaches, the right coach that's going to fit you. Then you get to sit down and have your free consultation with the coach to see if this is the best coach for you, test the waters. They're all certified coaches. They've got science backing. They've got real-world experience. There's no template programs, fully designed programs to suit your unique goals, your physiology, your schedule, of course. They've got prompt communication, which we all love about Training Peaks. They've got comments. They've also got consultations. And realistically, the coaches are in for the long haul. You're not going to just get thrown around to different coaches. When you get your coach, you've got your coach. And if you don't like it, 30-day money-back guarantee. So you could probably go in there and sort of ditch your coach faster than they can ditch you. But Durbo, I was I was thinking back. This is a pretty cool system to choose your coach because not often you get to choose your coach, especially when you're pro. You sort of just get assigned a coach. But I think we sort of changed the system anyway within our realm to go out and choose our own coaches as something that we started doing along the way. What's something that you look for when you go and choose a coach? What's the most important things for you?
Yeah, I remember when we were coached by the team with the team coach, and you went out and got an outside coach, Ben Day, and I was talking to you, and you were explaining how he was, hands-on, and he was a little bit more maybe your style person, and you connected a little bit more, and you had this like little bit of specialness from the outside because you had your own personalized coach that you chose, and I think that's something that's really important. That this is a really good initiative because when you choose something, you already have a better. You're already going to get a better performance. I think there's a saying that a bad program that you believe in is better than a good program that you don't.
It's a saying that, Durbs, really catchy. Yeah. That saying's going to take off, mate.
I have heard that saying too. Yeah, that is exactly how it goes.
That is a saying, though. I have heard that. You guys don't believe that?
I heard it down the shop earlier. I was getting some bread.
Right, yeah. All right, that's my point.
On that note, Southam, how important is actually to have a tailored program? Because I remember what Durbo was saying when I had my first coach at Green Edge. I realized that one of my teammates, him and I were going out and doing the same program. Be like, hey, Travi, what do you got on tomorrow? He's like, I've just got 3 hours cruising. I'm like, I've got 3 hours cruising. And then the next day would be, I've actually got 4 efforts on a long climb. Yeah, I've got 4 efforts on a long climb. We certainly knew because we were just getting the printout, the old printout program. Go on, boys, go and get trained by the same program.
Exactly the same rider. You were both exactly the same rider. One was sort of medium mountain sort of climber guy, and you've got a lead out guy. So,
it's like I always say, a bad program.
Come on, man. As if you've never heard that. It's like placebo effect. You got to believe it.
No, it's true. It's true. I think, but having your own program, it has to work for you. Riders are different. Riders are different. And it's like, as people are getting, everything's so much more dialed now. I think that the margins for things being wrong are much, much smaller. Back in the day, you probably weren't the only guys in the World Tour that were going through that experience. Probably there was quite a few. I think the riders are aware. You became aware, and riders are all aware now. You can't get away with that sort of crap. So it's massively important. And the margins are getting smaller, things are getting harder. So you need to do it.
Yeah, and whether you're a World Tour pro or it scales right down, it's got to fit your schedule. I think it's awesome. Coach Match, go check it out. Training Peaks, they're our major partner here at the Race Communique, and enjoying having them on board this year. Boys, there's been a little bit of racing since the Tour de France. As you guys mentioned already, there was Hamburg, but before that, we had Poland and San Sebastian, the World Tour races, where Ciccone got up in San Sebastian and we saw McNulty take out Poland. 2 credible results there for the boys. But we're on Grand Tour season again. We're on the eve of the Vuelta a España. Boys, before we get into the Vuelta, I thought it'd be interesting to discuss the Grand Tours. And what I mean by this is the Vuelta, in my opinion, is hands down the best Grandy of the season. We've got the best one last.
Why?
And I thought it'd be good. Well, are you ready?
Yeah, I mean,
the weather. Firstly, the weather, right? You've got
Too
the
hot.
Vuelta's
Too hot, you mean?
No, it's
Too
not.
hot.
way
It's
too
not
hot.
because you do not have
Way
to take
too
a
hot.
rain bag. Forget about your rain bag. Leave that at home. Nixon, Jersey. So you start up north when it's warmer, but it's not boiling hot, and you end down south so you start late August up north, perfect. As you head down south, it's mid-September, it's still perfect, 26, 28 degrees, perfect weather. You've got the stage lengths, shorter stages. So then you get in there, you get it done. For the fans, they get what they want. They get that action-packed racing. They don't have to sit around all day. Breakaways. Shorter stages lean to more breakaways, more exciting racing, and for guys like me, a better chance to win. You've got massive roads, perfect for a pro to just sit in and cruise along. None of these little tiny roads, traffic, as you mentioned, Durbo in the tour, traffic furniture. You've also got a lot of summit finishes. And now, hey, you'd probably be thinking, why the hell would I want summit finishes? Well, the Vuelta has these hockey stick stages where you just get to sit, as you saw at Von 2, cruise along, uphill finish. Great for the fans because they get it. They can go to the final climb, watch the battle on the final climb. They can see an absolute GC battle on the climb. Great for the riders because you can just cruise to the bottom, cruise up the final climb. No worries about time cut. And the best of all, the final punch is it's the last Grand Tour of the year. What more motivation do you need when you're in the Vuelta than the last Grand Tour? You literally cross the line and it's off season. You don't have to push anymore. You literally go, I've got 1 day left of my season, stage 21 in Madrid, cruise home. Plus, you get to hang on to that form right through to the next season, cruisy off season. No need to worry about stripping off the blubber. Boys, beat that.
So it's all based around basically the gruppetto, not taking much luggage and having a beer after the last stage. A lot. I did hear the word cruising a lot.
Cruising. I think that was like the thing. So Vuelta is cruising.
Well, did I not? It's actually, do we need to go to the stats here? Okay, you want to hear about the cruising? Let's have a look here. I've actually done a summary here. The Vuelta, on average over the last 10 years, has the most climbing, 54,000 meters of climbing, compared to the Tour, 52,000 meters, and randomly the Giro, only 51,000 meters. That's got to be wrong. So technically, it still is the hardest Grand Tour.
Come on. Did you ever get sent there when you didn't know you were going to go, or like a late call up, or
No, because I was always preparing for the best Grand Tour of the year.
I got sent there on the week before it started. Yeah.
So you didn't know you're doing it, and all of a sudden you got 3 week race in.
That was my one and my only Vueltas. I was in Andorra training for Canada or something like that, and then I got a phone call saying, "Oh, you need to come to the Vuelta." That was the one and only Vuelta I did. I rocked up with not much shape, finished with not much shape, and never want to do it again. But the reasons, are we going to go attack the Vuelta now, or are we going to sell us the next Grand Tour?
No, you just can sell your tour. So what are you going for?
Well, I mean, I'm taking the Giro by the sounds of it.
No, you can sell us the tour.
You'll sell the Giro? Okay, all right.
I reckon I can sell it. Yeah.
You can sell it. Okay. It's the Tour de France.
Okay, I can debunk that. Do we need to get into my notes?
Okay. Hit me with
too many people. There's too much hype. Turns into an absolute circus. It's mid-year. It can be absolutely hot. The roads are melting. We've already seen that. Yeshiva Bolocki. Do I need to remind you of that? Roads just melting everywhere. It's so dangerous with the road furniture.
It was 23 years ago. One person slipped on the road 23 years ago, and you're like, oh, no. Tour's out. Dangerous.
The whole for fans. I'll do from a fan's perspective.
But his son is riding the Vuelta this year. That's how long ago it was. His son is literally riding. I just picked
one random of many, many, many scenarios. There's the most crashes in the tour. It's the most dangerous race.
That's true.
The fans' access is ridiculous. As a fan, you can't even watch the race. And even if you do happen to get to the stage 3 days before, you're standing about 5 deep. It's the worst race to go and watch because it's just like, what's the even point? I'm stuck on a mountain now. It's just an absolute joke, that race.
Yeah, okay. So the Tour de France is the biggest bike race in the world. It's been around, most media behind it. Yes, it is a circus. But if you think cycling, you think Tour de France. So it's kind of like doing the hardest thing possible in cycling is the Tour de France because of everything around it. And you want to do the hardest thing possible on the bike is to go and achieve something like that. So just to finish the Tour de France, you feel like, oh my God, this is the best achievement in cycling, hands down. So going across the Champs-Elysees where the jets fly over and, you know, the hype behind it. I understand the hype can be its downfall, but every single time July rolls around, you were like, love to be at the Tour. Even though it looks shit, it looks crazy on TV and it looks hard and it's all that, but like that's where you want to be. That's when you grow up, when you're a junior, you watch the Tour de France. Man, don't bullshit me. You're not growing up watching the Vuelta. No one is. No, you young 12-year-old. No, you were.
I was watching it. I was watching Roberto Haras win his 4th Vuelta. I love that.
Aitor Gonzalez back in the day.
You're not watching the Vuelta. The thing is, what they do with the tour is it's organised by ASO. So they just like do all this stuff.
Who organises the Vuelta? ASO. So you're dissing the Vuelta then?
No, that's what I'm saying. They had to buy the Vuelta because no one wanted it.
They saw the potential in the best race. They're like, we better get hands of this before it goes.
It's like experimenting with the Vuelta. That's why they do all these short stages and they don't fuck with the Tour de France
before the RCS gets it.
Imagine how you would have felt about the Vuelta when it used to be, because it used to be before '95. It was in April.
Mm.
Then
how far are we going back? How far are we going back today, boys? Are we talking about current era?
All right, Southam. Have you got anything to talk about the Giro, the most beautiful race in the world, supposedly?
Yep. So the Giro is great because everybody loves enormous 6-hour mountain stages that start uphill. Like everybody loves those with bad weather at the top of the climbs, wet descents almost every time when you go back down the other side. Getting stuck in traffic jams when you come back off the mountain is always good. People enjoy that. No, the Giro, I do love the Giro. I feel like it's like it's a level of like the Vuelta kind of feels like, yeah, we're all cruising. It's all a bit done. It's all pretty low key. But the Giro, the build up's still happening. It's still like properly in the season. You've got a lot of racing to come. There's opportunities there for breaks that can go. The race isn't always totally locked down until the 3rd week. And I mean, in terms of like a race this year, if we stay with this year, I don't think you're going to get a better GC battle than the way it ended out this year. And that's all based on,
unless the Vuelta goes differently, but that was hands down the best this year.
That was like all-time epic. I mean, it was incredible. And even the fact, like, if you think back to when Yates lost it to Froome, that was also epic on a, you know, you do get those turnarounds in the race, which the Tour generally by the last week is locked down. No matter what the course is, guys just get more and more tired.
It's silly, the Tour.
The Vuelta is like, you know, it can be pretty closed for the GC. So I think the GC battle is the best at the Giro. That's why I would.
Well, we'll leave it up to the listeners. We've pleaded our case. Send in what you think. Give us the answers. We can't decide here. Clearly, we're very split between us. I've still got a whole lot here we could go on about the Tour and the Giro if we still need to argument. But I think we've said our bits.
Maybe you just do your own pod like in a week's time, Mitch. If you just like without us.
There is a Life from the Peloton episode coming out. We could just dedicate it to why the Vuelta is the best Grand Tour in the season.
I mean, The thing is, when you watch the Vuelta this year, it's probably going to be the most incredible Vuelta, and we're all just going to be like, wow.
As every year, it is the most exciting. Okay, let's leave it there.
I do enjoy watching the Vuelta, though. Yes,
let's get into this.
That's because you've done the tour, though, Durbo.
That's true.
Well, let's get into this year's Vuelta. It is the 80th edition. 3,151K, 4 flat stages, 6 medium mountains, 5 mountains, 1 triple T in our town, Durbo, Figueres, just up the road. 1 time trial. And look, it has 10 summit finishes. They're heading up the infamous Angliru on stage 13. And also the Bola del Mondo, which haunts me, that climb. That is on stage 20 this year. That goes up to 2258 in altitude. Quick side story. My first Vuelta, I can't remember if I've told it. I probably told it on this pod, but I've definitely told this story many a times. I didn't know if I was going to make it. Time cut. I was shitting myself. I'm just going to say this. Me and Trav Meyer made a pact, mate, let's never leave each other on today. You know, we're going to get through it. Both of us were struggling. The break went. All of a sudden, Clarkey was in the break trying to get the KOM jersey, and then Moncoute started the break again on the second mountain, and the whole race exploded. We're like, oh no, what's going to happen? We get over the top of the climb. I'm struggling. I jump on the back of a car with Dom Roland. We get behind this FDJ car, scoot through this valley for like, I don't know, 20, 30K at 100K an hour. And I catch up to this group and realize that's the last group on the road. I think, oh my God, I made Gruppetto. I look around the group. Trav's not there. I'm like, there's no way he's in front. Absolutely not. We go up this second last climb, and next thing I know, I see the Green Edge car coming behind, old Vittorio, dragging Travi back up to Gruppetto. He makes it back to Gruppetto, but that was at the bottom of the Bola del Mondo. And the Bola del Mondo is the view of the world, is the translation. And you climb up, and at the top, this is typical, this is not going to sell the Vuelta very well, typical Vuelta fashion, where they just decide to pave a road out of concrete. And it's like a concrete truck goes to the top of the climb and just opens up the back, and concrete dribbles down the road. That's typically the last couple K of all Vuelta stages. And this was, I remember crying up the top of Bola del Mondo going, I'm not going to make it. I'm not going to make my first Grand Tour. So that is what is in store for this year's Vuelta a España. It's looking really good because when you look at the start list, we've got Jonas Vingegaard is going with a rockstar team. They're taking Jorgensen's going as well. Sepp Kuss is also going. But then you got Bora Hansgrohe. Hindley's going after a break after crashing out of the Giro. He hasn't been doing much. They're going with Pellizzari, who's looking really good at Burgos. He was fourth, which is the lead-up race. I mentioned Ciccone. He's going as well from Lidl Trek. Gegenhardt will be there as well. Mads Pedersen's looking good. He just came out of Denmark winning that. I know it's a completely different race, but that guy is a freak. So they'll go there with a strong team. Derek G is going as well. He was fourth at the Giro, so I'd be interested to see how he backs up. And interesting, look, UAE, I think for me, I'll ask you, Durbo, how Ben O'Connor's going as well, second last year at the Vuelta. I want to hear from him. But interesting will be UAE. They're going with Almeida and Ayuso. Both those guys, fourth in 2022 for Almeida at the Vuelta. And Ayuso was fourth in 23 and was actually just in front of Almeida in 22 in third in GC when we saw Remco win that year. But Ayuso was just second at the Memorial in Getxo over in Spain, which is the one-day race there. So he was behind his teammate Del Toro. So, look, it's actually a pretty rock-star field. Durbo, can you give us any insight into O'Connor going there?
Yeah, so personally I think that's just going to be it's Jonas's Grand Tour to lose, to be fair. I think Jonas is still, I know Poggy's, the above Jonas, but below Poggy, Jonas is hands down the best Grand Tour rider. And I think it's sort of like what Roglič used to do when he went into the Vuelta. Like, it was like, it's Roglič's Grand Tour to lose, and maybe someone might, with Ben last year, a really opportunistic ride, and he held on by the, for so long. It got to a point where I'm thinking Ben O'Connor's going to win this race. I can only see something like that happening to Jonas if they make a tactical mistake. But I personally think that Jonas is going to be the main guy, and then below that, it's going to be a race for the podium, kind of like the Tour. The podium was open. Remco, who was going to go for that third place, Lipovic, et cetera, et cetera. So I think Jonas will, at one point leave everyone and sort of stamp his dominance. And then below that, I think, you've got likes of Ben O'Connor, Almeida. Almeida, to me, I think it was such a shame he crashed out on the Tour, but the guy has literally won every stage race, 1 week stage race he's started this year. And if he's in any sort of form that he's been in, Almeida will be like one of your best chances for UAE. And I know Yuso is really good, but he still shows a little bit of weakness over the length of the Grand Tour, and he's still quite young. So potentially Almeida's their main guy. And I know with UAE, they won't let younger guys do 2 Grand Tours. So that's why I think Del Toro's not lining up, because I think it's a good option for him to do it. But he's under something like an under 21 rule. They only let them do, or under 22, they only let them do 1 Grand Tour per year. So Del Toro's going really good. But yeah, with Ben, personally, I think Ben's going to be in really good shape. I think it was a bit unfortunate him crashing at the Tour. And I think personally he got that stage win just by pure hard ass. I don't think he had the shape to actually ride GC at the Tour after his crash. He was sore, he was, injured, and I think he just really thought he was a new team with us and he really wanted to show something, and that's why he's a really good biker. He just dug in and just, even without probably the right shape, still managed to get the Queen stage. But I think now with a bit of recovery, I've been riding with him a little bit. He's really motivated, and I think that podium is definitely a chance for sure.
Was it lucky, that win at the Tour, you're saying?
No, I'm not saying that at all. But I'm just saying he could really line up for that one day, but that day to day, you know what I'm saying. But the only reason is that the Triple T will have an effect as well, and that'll have it is 20K, so could be some time gaps. We'll have
Are you going to go on? Are you going to go and watch any? I went and watched the Catalunya when they did the time trial in Banyoles. I took Marlo up there. It was so cool to be on the side of the road, and they're actually doing a stage from Olot up to Andorra too. You should go up and watch one of the stages.
Yeah, I'll be in Andorra, I think, when they come up here. So I'll be try and get on the roadside to see the boys, and then I head off to Canada.
Southam, give us your thoughts on the Vuelta, mate. Can Vingegaard come in? Because at the end of the day, last time he did this, Sepp Kuss rolled him.
Yeah, I think I see him as the winner. I think that he finished the Tour pretty motivated already to come. Like what I was picking up on, like they're already Visma were motivated to come to the Vuelta, which was like the opposite of the vibes you were getting from UAE, which was just like, let's get this race done. Like Pog wanted to rest. I agree 100% with Durbo. It's like Pog put him in the shade in July, but actually he's still so far ahead of everybody else. I remember like a few years, I think it was last year or 2 years ago when he did, it was before his crash, and he did like a Gran Camino, which I know is a small race, but man, like I've just like the way that guy moves when he goes, it's phenomenal. Because when you look at him, he's got like that arched back and slightly odd position. You think, but like when you see it actually going firsthand live, it's like, man, this guy is just like born to go fast uphill. So I think it suits him. The team's obviously going to be super motivated. They've won the Giro, not the Tour, but they're going to come back and I think they're going to go hard for it. I think Ayuso, for all intents and purposes, is a step below him. So they're like a podium contender. I think Pellizzari will also pop up, like you said, Durbo. He had because they had to stop him at the Giro, slow him down, wait for Roglič, and then before he pulled out of the race. So it will be a good battle. You always get the odd guys pop up at the Vuelta as well, who have been under the radar.
What about Ciccone? Because he actually dropped Del Toro in the stage in Burgos.
San Sebastian. In San Sebastian as well, he dropped him as well.
I just think like the 3 weeks to put it together for 3 weeks is. I remember talking to Bettiol about Ciccone at the Giro a few years ago, and he's like, he will never, never, never last for 3 weeks. So maybe he's developed as a rider, maybe not. But personally, I bottom, like lower end of the top 10, I could see it with a bad day, and you still stay up there, but not fighting for the podium seemed a stretch to me.
Well, boys, once the Vuelta wraps up, it's not too long until TDU. You boys will be starting to get yourselves ready because I went over. Yeah.
Believe it or not, it's the first time ever I've got I'm getting these odd phone calls from riders like, so Tom, about the TDU next year. It's like, whoa. It's June. I had a phone call in June from a rider asking to do the TDU. So
you were bloody heckling me when you knew I'd been across to Adelaide to chat to Stewie about the stages. You're like, mate, give me the lowdown, give me the stages. I'm like, mate, I'm under embargo. I can't give you that stuff. That's secret knowledge. But it's out now. Have you seen the stages? What did you think of the stages? It's officially the most exciting race in TDU history. I can tell you I'm happy I'm not riding it because it's brutal this year. They've got a prologue to start. Then they're going straight up. They've got a stage out at Tanunda. Stage 2, they're heading out and they're going twice up the corkscrew. This is the first time they've ever gone twice up the corkscrew. Then they're going and they've got another stage there and they're heading up to Wollonga when they get to stage 4, 3 times up Wollonga. The last stage in Stirling, they're going around 8 laps in a finishing circuit in Stirling. It's brutal this year. It's so hard, but yet it's so great. What did you think of the stages when you saw them, Southam?
I really like it. I mean, we had a prologue a few years ago, but I think they've changed it, and we're not going to go down the bike path. So, because remember they had the boat in the river in case anybody went off, and basically the whole bunch fell off. I like it. I think that it's going to suit. It goes in the direction of the Australian riders, the home riders, because then they're more used to getting fit at that time of year. The climbs are what they are around there. They're sort of 6-7 minutes. They're never going to be any longer. So you just need to be in shape. And the guys who are best at getting in shape then naturally are going to be the Australians. Even if you take a European and you dump them in Adelaide now, like they're just not used to being that fit in January. You'll get the odd guy from Decathlon or whoever who pops up, but in general, I think it pushes it in the direction of an Australian who wants to really commit and get fit. Bit of a rough race for Welsford, who normally gets 3 stage wins there, so he's going to have to get away or something.
He's going to have to get his Tanunda stage and
he'll have his
maybe the prologue and Tanunda, and that's about it.
Prologue, yeah, prologue. Yeah. No, I think it'd be a great race. And like I said, there's already riders, like it's piqued the interest of the riders, which has never happened. Like I've never heard before.
Durbo, one thing that you're starting to, because of, I guess, me leaning on you and trying to get you to do things outside of the race. How many editions have you done now?
I don't know. I think it's like 12 maybe. Something 12. Like that maybe.
But you've always been one of the riders who actually gets outside of the bubble. And that's the best thing about TDU, in my opinion, is that you're able to sort of, you're still racing. It's a World Tour race, but you're still able to keep that normality as a rider because it's like the hub in Adelaide. You can actually catch up with family. You can run into fans and they're not like pestering fans. They're just sort of like, hey, mate, good to see you. You can actually sneak out and have a cheeky beer with me. No one's listening to this. That'll get you in trouble. But that's what I think is one of the best things about TDU. Now being on the other side is that I can see you guys. I can still see my mates. You don't go into that full lockdown. There's not like one hotel over there and you're in another town. You're in that hub. Southam and I can catch up for a cheeky cold one. That is a cold green tea in the morning.
Yeah.
But yeah.
The nice thing is because it's like everyone's finished work, mechanics, soigneurs, every single person is finished work by 6 p.m. Instead of getting to the hotel at 7:30, like everyone's done and everyone's like done their job. And then that's the reason. It's not so much just like the location. It's also that everyone's finished and you can down the tools. The riders are all happy, and then you do have the time to kind of go and drink 12 different types of Coopers. Is it 12 or 13?
There was a lot. Yeah, there was a lot.
But I think the thing is with the Stewie, he's the race director of Tour Down Under. Like he's had to, you just got to keep like progressing the race. And I think like, I would be like cautious of trying to make it harder and harder and harder and harder. And then you become just a normal World Tour race that like no one can actually enjoy it anymore because it's actually just so bloody hard. But it's like Stewie has done a good additions of just like, okay, last year was some sprint stages for Welsford and then wasn't a prologue, but then this year's I'm bringing the prologue back. So it's not like now we do prologue and we only do prologue and we only do this and we only do that. Like every year he's been race director. He's always gone like, okay, this year's going to be like 100%. Like last year was like punchy climber Navarres. Not saying Navarres couldn't win this edition, but it leans towards, say, more of a climber, like maybe it's a Chris Harper, like more of a diesel, but like because it's 3,000 meters of climbing, maybe it's a little bit harder for Navarres to win that race. So yeah, I think it's really exciting. The only it's going to be the 3 key stages. Obviously, the corkscrew twice means the gorge road downhill is twice, which is hectic.
But the second time there'll be less people.
Yeah, that's true. True. And then we have 3 times Wollonga, which we haven't done before, which, and then the Stirling circuit. Like, and I rate the old Stirling circuit. Like, we haven't done it in a few years. So that was always a good one, but to do it 8 times is pretty solid. So,
well, boys, we'll be catching up there, and all 3 of us will be on the ground at Tour Down Under. So, Durbo, can you give us a little bit of inside knowledge of what's been going on in the Pelo?
Hey guys, it's Luke. It's PeloChat. All right, here we go. So this month, I thought it's always hot topic post Tour de France is transfer market, and there's a lot happening at the moment. There is a lot happening. I think obviously the biggest transfer we have heard is Remco off to Red Bull.
Is he going to Red Bull?
I mean. Yes, he's going to Red Bull. And then Ineos and Red Bull are joining, and then everyone gets Remco and everyone's happy about it. So, no, that's bullshit. So Remco's going to Red Bull. I thought this was like a little interesting topic to discuss, obviously, because everyone's discussed it. But I thought, what do you guys think? What do you guys think? It was a good choice. What do you think, Mitch? What do you think about Remco going to Red Bull?
Where's Roglič going?
Staying at the moment.
That's the question, like what's his role now? Like he's sort of just, how many chief are going to be in there? We spoke about Pellizzari coming up as well.
What's Lipovitz doing?
Lipovitz, exactly. Hindley. You've got also
Pellizzari, like you said.
Oh my God, who's my old teammate? Colombian.
Is this the quiz now?
No.
What, Higuita?
No.
Oh.
Danny Martinez.
Danny Martinez. God, I lost my mind. Danny Martinez.
Me for the quiz for later.
Do you know what I mean? That's like, look, I think it's a better fit for Remco, but I don't think he's fixed by changing teams. He's got to sort something out there too. But yeah, look, Red Bull, they need also some big firepower as well. They don't want to be second fiddle with their budget, and they need to step it up. So I think it's a good move.
Yeah. Tom?
Yeah, I was quite interested in where it leaves Quick-Step or Soudal, because they spent quite a bit of time sort of and effort sort of changing the team. We saw them disappear from the classics. He's gone there. To me, I don't see how it's going to make a massive difference if you just surround yourself with all your yes people. Maybe that's not the best idea in the world. You obviously got to find a team that fits, but like you're building a team within a team based around him winning the Tour. What does that mean? Like, you cut adrift potentially the rest of the team, and so like it does shift the dynamic of a lot of things. You know, I mean, there's a lot of staff that suddenly decided they were going to leave Red Bull after the tour, which was like pretty brutal, I think. So big changes there. And you get a guy like Jai, who's basically like, he's a Giro winner, but he's kind of like a forgotten man now. I mean, Danny, like you said, Mitch, was second at the Giro last year. I mean,
I just proved the point, forgotten man.
Yeah. So it's
anyway.
It is
complicated. Yeah.
I don't see it as like, I still don't see it as well defined as like a UAE. There's no question whatsoever when Pog's there that it's Pog's team. Is it going to be like that with Remco? Because I think it's pretty well documented that Roglič left Visma because of the whole, he wasn't the top dog, right? So
that was my point. Where's he going to go now in terms
because
of
if you think
position?
about it on paper, Roglič in their team, hands down the best Grand Tour rider. So you bringing in Remco, yes, he has promise and he's won the Vuelta once before, but he's not Roglič. Like Roglič is he won the Vuelta last year. He's
four-time winner.
4 times winner. And, you know, like he's a proven entity. He's won the Giro as well. So podium the Tour. And he's just like, yes, he does crash out a couple of times, but he is a proven GC guy. And then you've got guys like Lipovic, who is just currently, third at the Tour. And then you've got a guy coming, Remco, probably, and also saying that it replicates in the salary too. Like you're third in the Tour at the moment, Lipovic. You are currently the best GC rider in Red Bull at the moment because you've proven it just in this season, right? You're better than Roglič. You've moved into this spot. You're like gaining leadership. You know, you've got this sort of, and then all of a sudden someone's gone and got paid 3 times as much as you, less. You know, but also I think Red Bull has signed Remco not just for the Grand Tours. I know it's a promise for the Grand Tours, but I think Remco is attractive. He wins TTs all the time. He goes fast. You know, Red Bull's all about going fast. You know, there's like the time trial aspect. Like Remco is the fastest guy on a bike because he goes on the time trial. You know? So Red Bull love that. Like I think it's not just this Grand Tour. Everyone thinks, Remco's going there to win a Grand Tour or win the Tour. I think Remco's just going there to just win races and go fast. Just go fast. You know, like we're not like does that make sense? Like Red Bull's all about that stuff. Like I'm not saying it sounds silly, but like that's sort of what they are about. Anyway, that's enough on Remco. I'd just like to go into Q36. I'd like to say they've like really gone hard in the transfer market this year. And I'm excited to see what that team's going to look like next year. I think they've had a really good season this year with Pidcock. Obviously haven't won any other than winning the Hamburg Classic on the weekend, which was incredible. Big World Tour win. But they've gone after Fred Wright. So classic bolstering. They've gone Eddie Dunbar is going there. For climbing support. You've also got, I've heard Globe is also going there. So we have like a few big signings at Q36, which obviously you keep Pidcock. We got a few other guys re-signing there. You know, Damien Housen's still there. Mark Donovan's still there. So they've got quite a good group. And I think they've already proven this year that they are stepping up because I would say that Tudor had a better setup to start with in terms of the two Swiss rivalries. It kind of looked like Tudor was sort of like the better of the pro-continental 2 Swiss teams. But I'm thinking now with how hard they've gone after the transfer market, maybe the tables will flip next year to sort of be that team. And with what obviously with wild cards for the Tour, that'd be quite interesting.
So because Q36 at the minute sit outside the, I think, guaranteed wildcards for everything. So that's going to go against them. But
so yeah, I think other than that, I heard Olive Coy off to AG2R. Hasn't confirmed yet, but that's a big one. AG2R are obviously doing this. They're probably one of that French team that continually says how international they're going to be the next year, and they've been saying that for the last 10 years, but they just continually stay French. And I mean, there's a great video, you should watch it. It's the French director is trying to do the Paris-Roubaix preview in English, and then he's just doing these ones. He goes, crash, blah 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 blah, puncture, stress, and then he's just like chaos, Paris-Roubaix, and then like that's sort of like the end of the meeting, and you're watching it like, what? Like if you're sitting in there and you don't speak French, you'd be like, well, yeah, I know you've just read out the key words to describe. You know, it's like he's playing Pictionary. It's like, it's 2 words. You know? what race is it? Crash. So they've signed AG2R. AG2R have signed Olive Coy. I think I've heard rumours they're bringing like a bit of a lead-out train for him. Dan Holer, I've heard, is potentially there. Maybe Tish Benoot. Like, there's some big potential rumours going around that team for next year. So maybe they'll finally get to that point. You know, Luke Rose, the director there now, he's really enjoying it. I spoke to him in Hamburg. He said it's really good and team's really stepping up. Callum Scottson, good friend of mine, also is there. So, look, they had a really, really amazing season last year. They probably hasn't backed it up from this year, but they probably had their best season they've probably ever had last year.
They're winning everything now. Have you seen how many races they've won?
Yeah,
since the tour this year, they're winning left, right, and centre.
What are you doing next year, Durbo?
I'm staying at Green Edge.
Right. Still got one more year?
Yeah, I do. Yeah, I re-signed last year. I was like, I don't know. Well, it depends. My performance in Hamburg, maybe I'll be the swan year, but no, I'm staying in Green Edge for another year. But yeah, that's probably like there's heaps going on in the transfer market. Like if you ever get on Pro Cycling Stats, it's quite good. They've got latest transfers, and they sort of at the moment it's just daily being updated with who's going where and what's going here. Another exciting one, just before I wrap it up, is Dylan Groenewegen and Elmar from our team are going off to Titimar, which is an interesting move, actually. I think obviously they're trying to step up, and signing someone like Dylan potentially gives them starts in bigger races. But it's, you know, someone being in a World Tour team for as long as they've been in the World Tour team to go down to a level of a team that's starting, it always, you know, there always takes time. And I think there's still a lot of winning left in Dylan, even if it's not potentially at the Tour or whatever, but I still think there's a lot of winning left in him. So it was sad to see him go, definitely. Big loss for our team, losing him and Elmar. So sad, but I wish them the best there. And hopefully it's, hopefully for them it works out well.
Transfer corner. Thank you, Durbo. Awesome.
Nice. Right. Over to me then, lads.
Yeah, let's do it, Southam. What do you got for us?
So, talking tactics, the modern breakaway. So I've got a subtitle this month. You know, not just talking tactics, but talking tactics, the modern breakaway. So
love it.
Your intros are way better than mine.
This comes from, Adak, Hamburg, whatever you want to call it. Obviously, Rory Townsend, incredible ride to win the race from the early break. And what's, you know, a lot has changed. Like when I first got into cycling way back in the 90s, you could win races from the early break, but it's because the time gap was so large. So Jackie Durand won Tour of Flanders in 1992, long sleeve jersey on, went into an early break. They just got like 15, 20 minutes, and everyone sort of like had a little bit of a Mexican standoff behind. They stayed away. There's other examples. I had a sports director called Valerio Tibaldi, who won 2 stages of the Tour. And I remember him telling me, he's like, Tom, I had a 10-year career of 2 attacks. I did 1 attack at the start of a Tour stage at the beginning of my career, and I won the stage, and 1 at the end. And he won 2 stages of the Tour basically by going down the road and getting 12 minutes. And just like everyone in the bunch kind of going, sod it. then that's obviously changed. And in the past few years, we've seen the bunch keep breaks at 2.5, 3 minutes, quite close. But what is happening more now, and I see now, it's the same thing that happened on stage 11 at the Tour, which you would have some insight into, Durbo, with Maro Schmidt being there with Abrahamsen all day, with 50 to 20 seconds all day. This break of 4 got in front and they turned, and then there was like there are some circumstances that kind of contributed to them not getting caught. So Trek were pulling, but Milan was dropped super early. They just stopped. There was Caden Groves was out the back as well suddenly. Like teammates, like there's odd sort of circumstances that happened. Intermarché, who, I'm sorry, but like I just cannot understand what they did, because they had Girmay. They should have pulled. They had De Putter in front. He was the only one of the 3 who was dropped, but they were blocking until he was dropped. And then they started to ride when they had no riders left. So also a contributing factor. But the thing that I've started to notice is that the riders don't get tired. Like in the past, you go, okay, those 4 guys are going to be dead ducks later on. Those 2 guys, Mauro Schmidt and Abrahamsen, I don't care who you are, you're going to get tired. Van der Poel and Rijkaard, remember the stage of the Tour? They rode an average of 50 Ks an hour in 2. So with the fueling, with the bikes, with the equipment, you cannot underestimate how hard it's going to be to catch a breakaway. Plus, of course, not taking anything away from anyone, but the motorbikes no longer move fast enough to not give a big advantage to a breakaway. So going through a town like we did in Hamburg after the climbs where it's a little bit twisty, it's massive there. And like people do it. It's part of the race. I'm not complaining about it. But isn't
there a motorbike in front of the bunch as well?
They don't always film from the same spots. So it's not necessary that you have
So do you think the motorbike is more in front of the breakaway than the bunch?
It's not 100%. Just motorbike. It's like there's like a car and there's 3 motorbikes. You can't see from the TV camera because it's pointing backwards, but you have a car there too. You have like the race leader's car. And we all know now that's making a big difference. All of these things, because I don't want to have a discussion about the motorbikes and all that stuff, but like all of these things with the riders not getting tired with the way they're fueling means that like when you watch Rory Townsend launch his last effort, that was a proper effort. He had enough energy to gap. He took another little gap again later on. So you can no longer just be like, okay, guys, we want to have no more than 7 in the break. Because like, you know, or like, okay, no more than 5, because then that means we're going to catch them easy. Now it's like, even 2 guys can go all day with the bunch racing flat out behind and make it to the line. And it's like it was 207K, not 180 Durbo. I don't know if you paid any attention on Sunday.
I didn't.
And they were out there for at least 200 and they were still motoring at the end. And that to me is like the quality of the Pro Conti teams is high. Like Q36, their equipment's good. They're not lagging behind all the World Tour teams. You can't be like, oh, it's a bunch of Pro Conti guys, we're going to catch them easy, blah, blah, blah. They got baggy shirts on or whatever. Like, the quality's high. You know, like in your skill days, Mitch, when it was like, right, let's get into the breakaway to get on TV.
Yeah.
That's almost gone now. It's like, now you go into the breakaway, you can win the race.
To win. Yeah.
You can win the race from the break. It's changing, it's evolving. The sport's always evolving, but I think it's a really fascinating point now where it's like, okay, what's going to happen? Are we going to just not let any breaks go?
There was, and maybe Durbo, you might know about this, but there was this transition that I noticed from skill to green edge that for me to get in the breakaway with skill was a hell of, I didn't know this at the time, but it was easy for me to get in the breakaway because of my jersey. They were just like, let him go. As you said, Tom, we'll get them back. They're lesser riders. They got the big jerseys on, the flapping jerseys, and their equipment's not quite as good, blah, blah, blah. So it doesn't matter if they're in the break. Then when I got a green edge jersey on, I couldn't get in breakaways anymore because suddenly we were a threat. You know, for instance, we had a sprinter, Gossi, don't let them get in there because we need to chase them, whatever. Does that still happen now, or it's just pretty much all teams are evenly, like you said, Southam. Doesn't matter if it's Q36.5, a lower team. It's still a threat. So every team is more or less hard to get in the break.
What happened in the start of Hamburg was we had like 3 guys to go in the breakaway because we thought the judging of the course, how the circuit was going to be. We didn't know sprinters coming off the tour, if some are tired or some are not. It actually was a plan for us to be in the breakaway, and we actually tried really hard. Like it never doesn't normally take. Yeah, we actually wanted to be in there. I saw Askren had like an aero helmet on, so we were just like actually trying to be there. But then in the end, Trek, Alps and UAE did quite a good job to block the road once those 4 guys rolled off the front. And because it was only 4 and was sort of like was not massive teams in there, we were thinking, okay, it's coming back today. But they really did give them time. The one thing I will add is...
But you didn't go slow.
We didn't go slow. Definitely didn't go slow. But I would say that the type of effort makes a huge difference too. So say you go training, you do a continuous pace, it's zone 2 ride or whatever, or you go out and you ride easy and then you do like 10 sprints maximum, and then the complete effect on the body, you will get tired. So what I would say is the bunch, the run-ins to position, these run-ins are causing they're huge damage to the legs. You're doing between 10 seconds to 1 minute efforts to be in the position, to be in the right spot. And that really gasses you. So when you get over the top of the climb, you were just like, where the break is just like steady. We go steady all day, the exact same pace. There is no fluctuations in efforts. There's no sprints. There's no nothing. So in general, like the TSS, if you think the training stress score on the body is probably a lot lower being in the breakaway than it was being in the bunch. So this is kind of why you think where Rory did at Hamburg, he did 1 sprint, maybe 2, 1 to get in the breakaway and 1 to win the sprint, when to win the stage. But the guy behind, like Delee's probably done 50 sprints that day to try and be in a position, So that's also another big thing as well.
Well, yeah. Don't let him out of your sight anymore. Otherwise, it's gone.
It's gone.
Well,
that's it. 20 seconds, 200K to go.
Well, you're going to get numerous times to see that in the Best Grand Tour coming up around the corner, because it is a breakaway fest in the Vuelta of España coming up.
The 3rd Best Grand Tour.
Send in your comment, your votes. I'll get the poll up once the votes are tallied. Southam, you've decided I had the quiz ready, but you messaged me before we decided to get things going. You said, hey, I've got a quiz ready. I want to do the quiz. So the Quizmaster's back.
That's it. That's right. I had quite a long time to prepare this one. Mitch apparently had a dream where he was sleeping and he dreamt that he sent me a text saying, can you do the quiz? Which I pointed out is a pretty poor dream. Like in general, just dreaming about sending a text to me is like pretty low. I just
thought you would have been onto it because you didn't prepare last week when we all said that you would do it. So yes, let's go.
Right, so I've rustled up a Summer Classics quiz at very short notice. So, going back to the last race, the Hamburg Cycle Classics, can anybody tell me how many different names the Hamburg race has had in its existence?
Vattenfall was one.
Correct.
Bemo Classic?
Correct. That's 1 point each. I mean, it's dead easy if you just use the one that was a day ago.
Adak.
There you go.
Is it ever called Hamburg Classic?
Yes. Yep. Mitch is on 1. Out. Luke's on 3. So, any more? For any more?
I was just knew it as Vattenfall, whatever the hell that means.
It was also known as Hew, Hew. early days. It was also Euro Eyes. It's had 6 different iterations, 6 different names.
We got there. We got pretty close. 4 of the 6. Well done, Debs.
Good job, fellas. Who has the most wins in Hamburg? Is it A, Andre Greipel, B, Viviani, or C, Degenkolb?
A, Greipel.
Viviani.
One more for Luke. 3 wins. Viviani.
How'd you know that?
He's the only non-German. The clue's in the question. Who can name the one British winner of GP Plouay?
Ian Stannard. What'd you say? GP Plouay?
Plouay, yeah.
Plouay.
Very famous win.
Oh, isn't it your sports director, Durbo?
Mine. It's Cummings. No, Cummings.
Nope.
We go.
Nope. You've had about 15 chances now. Durbs, you want to have a go?
It's G.
No.
Stop
saying British riders.
Stop saying British riders.
So he out-sprinted Baden Cook.
Jez Hunt.
Jez Hunt, correct.
Damn it.
Okay. In 1992, which summer classic was Lance Armstrong's first race and where did he finish? Summer classic.
It wasn't
San Sebastian.
Correct.
Nice.
And he finished?
Second.
Incorrect.
Third?
Incorrect. Dead last.
Huh.
The next week, he finished second in which now defunct summer classic that doesn't exist anymore. The next week he finished second. I'll give you a clue. It finished on a track.
Plouay?
No, sprint on a track.
On a velodrome.
Mm.
No idea.
What country is it in?
Switzerland.
I don't. No idea. Zurich. Did it finish in Zurich?
GP Zurich. Yep.
Yes.
Yep.
GP. Yes.
There's not enough questions for Mitch to beat you. Don't worry. You're so far ahead. True or false? There was once a World Cup Summer Classic in the UK, sponsored and named after a milk company.
False.
Durbs?
True.
There you go. The Wincanton Classic, it was called in the UK. Final question. Now working as a sports director at Movistar, who is the only British winner? Now
Max Scandry.
Correct. A resounding 7-3 win for Luke Durbridge. Summer Classics master. What? He can't finish Hamburg, but he can definitely do a good quiz.
Come on.
If it had only been the Spring Classics.
I also didn't finish Hamburg, so don't worry about it, mate. It's first race I've DNF'd in a car, put it that way. So,
boys, it's been a fantastic catch-up. I've enjoyed it. Vuelta is upon us. I'm going to be calling it. So tune in to SBS.
Are you doing it on? You're doing it commentary?
Of course.
Nice.
It's
nice.
I'm not going to miss this one. Not the Vuelta.
If you weren't commentating, you'd be staying up watching it anyway. Every minute.
The stages I'm not commentating, I'll be watching. Boys, it's been great. I'll see you in about a month's time. Thank you very much. Enjoy the Vuelta.
Good stuff.
Thanks, guys.
that iconic music in this episode was composed by none other than the legend Pete Shelley. Cheers, mate.